Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
Hey, so me and Jace are at a shelter. I've made a lot of mistakes that led up to this point. And I just completely stayed away from all black people. What? My life would have been way better. Like, way better. If I had just married a nice white boy from my neighborhood growing up.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
And this story has been brought to you by racism. Racism is accepted wherever true Americans are.
Perfect.
Now, I want y'all to sit here and just listen to this. I'm going to, have the screen the way that it is, because I want you guys to just take on and hear every single thing that this woman has to state and how ignorant this is. And again, for those in the Black community, this is not something that you should be new to. This is something that you've heard pretty often. Again, having all Black people being blamed for something, having all Black men and being blamed for something. Again, just take a listen to this and you'll see.
Hey, so me and Jace are at a shelter. I've made a lot of mistakes that led up to this point. And I just completely stayed away from all Black people. What? My life would have been way better. Like, way better. If I had just married a nice white boy from my neighborhood growing up.
Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose.
Or from my church and lived in the suburbs and finished college. Yeah, I'd probably be a doctor or a lawyer, and I probably would have had a totally normal, wonderful life without any drama at all.
I don't want to hear that. You have to show me.
Without any abuse at all. Like, I could have just found a nice person and married them, and they wouldn't have been Black, and my life would have been awesome.
Sensational.
I wouldn't have been in the hospitals. I wouldn't have been in the jails or the prisons. I wouldn't have gotten attacked.
That's not how the game is played. You can't do that.
And 100% of the people who attacked me were Black. 100% of them were Black. 100% of the people that I've had to fight were Black. 100% of the people that watch that show that are already, with just being on social media again, are. And what's interesting about this whole thing, right, is...
And truth be told, I'm not a very big fan of the Black people.
Had I not been so empathetic to the Black situation...
Oh, Lord.
And had I not really just known about the history and read so many books in college, I read Elaine Brown's book, she's a Black Panther. I read a lot of the Black Panthers books in college. And I was super upset about what was happening.
It's okay. It's not okay, though. It's not,
And I did not have a Black family. I had maybe like a handful of people who were Black in my family. Everybody else was not Black.
You're a victim.
Here we go, CSI.
This is my thing. I'm a little bit confused. Why would you spend all of your time, all of your life around Black people? If you really felt that way, why not just go to a whole nother state, a whole nother area? Why are you on this whole thing? It's like, well, I did all this work to try to sympathize, with the Black people, with the Black community, and it got me nowhere. And all I was doing was just fighting Black people left and right. I was fighting for my life, and it got me here. I'm a little bit confused. Aren't your life choices your life choices? Aren't your decisions your decisions? Didn't you decide to pick up those books and learn about Black history and what it is, the struggles that Black people had to go through? Didn't you do that? Didn't you spend that money? Didn't you do all of that research yourself? Nobody forced you to do it. That was something that you wanted to do. So why are you then blaming everybody for the choices and the life decisions that you made right now? Again, I'm a little bit confused. Like I said, I don't know what's up.
Stop it. Get some help.
Here comes a new challenger.
Okay, so me and Jace are at a shelter, I've made a lot of mistakes that led up to this point. And I just completely stayed away from all Black people, my life would have been way better. Like, way better. If I had just married a nice white boy from my neighborhood growing up, or from my church, and lived in the suburbs and finished college, yeah, I'd probably be a doctor or a lawyer, and I probably would have had a totally normal, wonderful life without any drama at all, without any abuse at all. Like, I could have just found a nice person and married them, and they wouldn't have been Black, and my life would have been awesome. I wouldn't have been in the hospitals, I wouldn't have been in the jails or the prisons, I wouldn't have gotten attacked, and 100% of the people who attacked me were Black. 100% of them were Black. 100% of the people that I've had to fight were Black. 100% of the people that watch that show that are already, with just being on social media again, are. And you know, what's interesting about this whole thing, right, is had I not been so empathetic to the Black situation, and had I not really just known about the history and read so many books in college, I read Elaine Brown's book, she's a Black Panther. I read a lot of the Black Panthers books in college, and I was super upset about what was happening. And I did not have a Black family. I had maybe like a handful of people who were Black in my family. Everybody else was not Black.
So you're sitting here on the internet telling the whole world that the whole reason, including the face tattoo that you have, you mean to tell me that every negative, bad instance, situation, life choice, life decision, trajectory, every road that you walked, every bridge that you crossed, every mountain that you went around, through, under, and above, every sun and moon, every sunset, every little bit of the night sky that you saw, anything negative is 100% the fault of Black people. You have to be kidding me. This is ridiculous. And this is what I talk about when I state that you have people directly out here that don't want to take no, if any, accountability for their situations or where it is that they are directly in life. This woman is clear-cut in a shelter with her child. That is on you, ma'am. That is 100% on you. You are an able-bodied woman. There is no reason that you cannot be working, find a way to sit up there and make some money, create something like this. Is what I'll be talking about. You're not going to tell me that we're at a point in time where you have people out here that automatically want to be both the hero and they want to be the victim at the same time. They want to be the hero and the supervillain at the same time. They want to be the victim and the perpetrator at the same time. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And you're literally watching and hearing everything. Like I said, this is not me making up things. This is not AI. This is not AI generated. This is not photo. Whatever it is that people like to do in order to excuse stuff like this. This is not that. And I'm not trying to hear anybody try to state that, well, if, I wonder who got her pregnant. I bet you it was a Black man. What was up? Maybe if the father. I'm not trying to hear any of that, because the first thing that came out of her mouth is that she blamed Black people. And then later on, she wanted to re-up on that, have a second go around. And then she was like, well, maybe if I would have just married a nice white guy, my life would have been different. Matter of fact, my life would have been different. It would have been on a different trajectory. I wouldn't have done drugs. I wouldn't have been jailed. I wouldn't have had a record. I wouldn't have did this. I wouldn't have did that. I wouldn't have gotten into fights. I wouldn't be living where I'm living. I wouldn't be in a shelter. I would have been living a perfect, she's not taking accountability for anything at all. And like I said, and this is what I've always stated, when it deals with men from the get-go, as soon as you're born, you're built to take accountability, even for stuff that you had zero to do with. You just got here out of the womb, and automatically people are blaming you. Social media is blaming you. Mainstream media is blaming you. Women are blaming you, right? You got to take on all of that, right? But here you have this woman on the internet putting out the blame, not holding any accountability, nor is anybody out here going to make her accountable for her life choices and her decisions. There's going to be somebody, I promise you, there's going to be somebody out there that's going to be like, you know what, I sympathize. I was in the same circumstances. Everybody has a different life story. You don't know what she went through. And, you know, a lot of the people that she may have had battles with were Black people. And, you know, you got to understand the role that they play and how it is that they altered her energy and put, no, 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 no. Like I said, there's always going to be somebody out there to try to justify the nonsense that I was able to hear, that you yourself were able to hear. This is crazy. This is madness. And again, this is what men have talked about for the longest time possible. But who is going to make her accountable? Men can't say anything because nobody's going to listen to men out here, because as a lot of people have stated on social media, men are not needed. Men are not wanted. Women can do any and everything that a man can do, also including lead. So where are the female leaders to come correct this situation when she's coming directly after the Black community as a whole? She was like, hey, my whole life is Black people's fault. And then secondly, the reason that I'm in this shelter and that I even got pregnant, it's a Black man's fault. The only person that would have corrected this and made this okay would have been a white man. She literally said that. I boiled down all of her talking points to those three things. Number 4 would be no accountability for her own actions. That'll be it. But like I said, where are the female leaders to come take the reins and perform the corrective measures that are needed so that she can see what it is that she has done to put herself in these circumstances, so that she can take accountability and responsibility for any and all actions that she has committed throughout her life to get her to the single point of being in a shelter with her child? Where? Because I don't see him, I don't hear him. And I can tell you that they're probably nowhere on social media, because you're going to have a lot of people that are not me and many other men out here that are going to run with this story, and they're going to be like, yep, you know what? She's right. She's right. The Black men out here, this, that, and the third, all this other type of stuff, it's going to be the same rigmarole. It's going to be the same banana in the tailpipe. It's going to be the same arguments every single time, because nobody wants to focus in on what the real issue is. And 9 times out of 10, the issue is you. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.